Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, August 19th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses technical charts within your decision-making process as a trader, or maybe you're just new and want to learn more about charts and how they can be used to make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And then real quick before I get started, I just want to make you aware of and personally invite you to this live free class that I'm offering. So keep in the back of your mind that as I go through the content, if you're liking what you see and if you're wanting to learn more about it and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then like I said, I want you to get signed up for this class here. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use. If you're watching at claytrader.com, then somewhere on the webpage, there's going to be several areas that you can click to get signed up for it. So like I said, just keep that in the back of your mind. And if you like what you're seeing as I proceed further, then get signed up for the class. The first one we're looking at here, ticker symbol PMCB, and a couple of quick notes. These are 30-minute candlesticks, meaning each one of these represents 30 minutes worth of time. So all the stocks that I'll be looking at, I'll be using that 30-minute time frame. And the other note is the market isn't still quite closed yet. So no, you're not blind. That candle is still moving because the markets are still open. But I wanted to get this going so we can witness this very, very impressive breakout that's happening right before our eyes. And the key dynamic here and the key breakout that has already happened, and that now it's really just a question moving forward, is that trendline break right there. So yeah, for anybody that caught this trendline break, congratulations, you are sitting very pretty. But now moving forward, the main dynamic has transitioned to, okay, can it break out? That box has already been checked. Now it's all a question of, okay, how much bigger is this breakout going to become? How much more momentum can this thing pick out? And the first indicator of that in my mind is going to be, okay, well, let's see how actually, let me just get rid of that line there as it served its purpose. But let's see how the price can behave if it gets up to that big old round number of $10. $10, as it did essentially back here, you can see presented some problems and once again presented some problems. But who knows, maybe it'll be able to break above it by the time the closing bells, for the closing bell. But pointer being, $10 is definitely going to be that first key area of resistance. And then after that, the next key major overall level to keep an eye on after that would then be right up there around the $13 mark. So in other words, there's still some wiggle room for this thing to build more momentum. Now I'm not saying that if 10 breaks, it's going to shoot straight up to 13. I'm just saying that technically speaking, there is quite a bit of space on the chart. But more of the story here, very, very impressive final 30 minutes. Like I said, got that initial trendline break. Now the big question moving forward is, okay, how much more momentum can this breakout lead to? And that first big step in continuing with that momentum is going to be the break up above that $10 mark. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and today it did pull back, but as I've talked about in past top 10 videos, with this one right now, nothing to worry about in regards to the pullback share. I realize that people that maybe bought right there this morning that were day traders, yeah, from that point of view, things are looking pretty rough. But assuming you just care about the grand scheme of it all, then overall, everything is still perfectly fine, namely for two reasons. First off, and again, this should sound familiar to those of you that watch past videos, but the price is still nicely up above that green trend line right there. So overall, even with the pullback, the trend is still very clearly working itself in the upwards direction. The other reason why, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of cool how these levels have aligned, but there's also that purple line right there, which on my chart denotes a very well-known, the very famous 50 period moving average. And again, like I said, hard to see, but these levels have basically become one right there as they're right on top of each other. So pointer being, that doesn't guarantee anything, but it's more than valid, it's more than rational to think that, yeah, that area down around the $36 mark should have quite a bit of area of support around there. So we'll see if that can, play out moving forward. But more of the story here, as long as the price stays above that green line, then the overall trend and overall chart is still bullish. In terms of areas of resistance, main area of resistance now to keep an eye on, going to be right there around that $38 mark. So keep a close eye on that. But like I said, yeah, it did pull back today, but overall, still plenty in an uptrend. Next one here, ticker symbol PLTR, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past top 10 videos where I've done this one, but I kept talking about that red line there at $25, and hey, finally, the price is broken up through it right there, so got the breakout of that area. But this is the cool part and just a classic real-life example of the power of charts. There's a rule in charting that states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support, so let's change that to support. And then wouldn't you notice, how crazy is that? Price broke above it, but then the next two candles came down there and bounced right off that area up. So a classic example of this resistance behaving as support. And yeah, there has been a pullback here since those highs, but the price is still nicely up above 25. So I mean, and I'm not saying this will occur, but the price could still come down here at 25, behave like that, and then, in a very kind of, rough drawing point of view, you'd still have a pattern that looks like this, which would be a bull flag, bull pennant pattern. So even with the pullback right now, assuming it stays up above that former breakout point of $25, then overall everything is perfectly fine. But as I kind of just revealed there, main area of resistance now moving forward, going to be right there around that resistance trend line. But overall, definitely a very nice day. So let's see if the momentum can continue. Next one here, ticker symbol TLRY, which I'm not going to say the chart is destroyed, but it is certainly looking pretty shaky right now. And it is definitely a very valid question and valid kind of discussion to have moving forward because, yeah, this one did have a great move. But now with the big pullback here, so you can see gapped up, came down, recovered very nicely. However, now all of a sudden it's rolled back over. Again, am I saying that the chart has reversed? I'm not. I would still consider this a pullback, but that does bring about the valid question of, okay, Clay, so at what point would you start to call this a reversal? And in my mind, it is all about what I would definitely call a muscle hold area right down there at $13.15. And the reason why that area is so important is if the price were to go down there, break down below it and continue to go, what would you have? Well, you would have the price quite literally right back to where it started. Or said another way, that would imply that the price exploded upwards to then just go right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of true power or true genuine strength. Again, not saying that'll occur, but to me, that is a must-hold level. That would be the reversal point because, again, yeah, the price has officially reversed if the price has all of a sudden entered into that previous range that it just broke out of. So moving forward, definitely 13.15, very important level of support. As far as areas of resistance, that level right up there around 1385 will be a main dynamic. But really the crucial key idea right now, key kind of question out there that needs to be answered is, I mean, was this just some sort of one-day wonder, or is this going to start to be able to build higher bases by staying above 13.15? Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol VRPX, which has just been absolutely crazy, but after today has really established some key technical levels that I think stand out to quite a few people. So when I say that, I'm not trying to come across like this is some sort of great discovery or that I have some sort of special talent. I'm just saying that people that use and understand charts, I think will be watching these levels. And I say that because when a lot of people around the world are watching the same levels, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can create some very, big and dynamic movements. So the first level here that longs and shorts and everybody going to be watching, going to be right there around $21.50 with the idea that, if 21.50 breaks, then no guarantees, but it's a rational thought to have that the price could very well head down there and close that gap around 16.50. So again, nothing has to happen. There are no guarantees in the market, but technical analysis is a tool to help us make not random decisions, to help us make rational decisions. And again, to think that if this breaks, it could go down there and close that gap, a more than rational decision to have. On the flip side of things, as far as areas of resistance, definitely the main resistance area moving forward right there at that trend line right there. So again, no guarantees, but it's more than valid, more than rational to think that if the price can consolidate out, maintain above that green line, turn itself around, and then get the break up through that area, that break in and of itself could create that much more buying pressure back to the upside. Does it go up to 36? I don't know about that, but is it possible to create another breakout? Yeah, absolutely. So those are going to be the main dynamics and main levels to watch here headed into Thursday. But overall, crazy movement. Let's see if the craziness can continue forward. Next one here, ticker symbol SCSN, which, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past top 10 videos, but I've been talking about that green line right there at around $1.20, and it is once again back into play. Did have a good solid move right back there on Tuesday, but today pretty much gave back those gains. But it's not like the price has crashed down below that green line. And again, the reason why $1.20 would be bad if the price were to break below there is now all of a sudden you'd have the price basically right back to where it was. And as I've mentioned already, going back to where it was, not really a good sign of strength. But as of now, the price does still have the opportunity to build a higher base, which when you compare it to that low down there, if you envision those as stair steps, you would still have stair steps in the upwards direction. And to be fair, last time the price was down around this area, a very nice bounce happened. And I really need to reiterate this again. Just because a bounce happened last time doesn't mean that for sure guaranteed it'll bounce again. But it's not a random thought. Now, had the price never bounced from $1.20, and I'm sitting here saying, hey, the price could bounce from $1.20, you'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? It's never happened before. Why would you think it would here? But in this situation, it has bounced from there. So is it guaranteed to happen? No. Is it a rational thought to have? Absolutely. So $1.20 remains that key level. And once again, because of this pullback today, the price is back within that range of the chart. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, very curious with that trend line right there. So if the price can break up above, right around $1.40, that could certainly create another round of momentum. But we'll see what happens with it on Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol SGOC, and a beautiful, beautiful pattern, beautiful kind of story, if you will. And what is that story? Because it'll set up the overall context. But big move up, and then came all the way back down here. However, after that crazy pullback, what happened? the price has started to return back upwards and had a very strong afternoon. Now, there's still work that needs to be done, but that's also kind of where the setup comes into play, because the key breakout point, the key level I think that matters most, going to be right up there around $7.35. So that's kind of the good news here is, what would be bad is had the price already come up here and broken through there, and then that changes the entire dynamic of the chart. But the good news here is it's still down below that area. And again, what we have that makes it very interesting is what was looking like game over to all of a sudden, nope, game's still on. Now, maybe the game is over. Maybe this thing totally rolls back over. But it's a valid thought to have right now that, hey, you know what? Maybe the game is back on. Maybe there's going to be some sort of break back up above that area. So definitely keep a very close eye on 735. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, very straightforward here. All about that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, which you can see is right where the price bounced off of. But really, in my mind, the play is all about, is the price getting ready for another round to the upside, and can it break through 735? Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol ESGC, and very, very nice pattern here, and just kind of a question of, okay, great move. I mean, that 30-minute period right there was just a monster of a movement, especially when you consider it's a penny stock, so the percentages add up that much quicker. But then after the big move, kind of things went quiet, which is okay, because where do they go quiet? Well, they went quiet all the way up here, which is much better than things making a move, going quiet, and then crashing right back to where it was. But that didn't happen at all. So sure, volume did drop off, but the good news is it all occurred within this consolidation, and from a volume analysis standpoint, that's exactly how you would want to see volume behave. And just from strictly a pattern perspective, let me just draw up the key area of resistance right there at 70 cents, key level of support. Bring that down here to, what is that? The 64-cent mark. So I'll change that to green to represent, again, more of the bullish dynamic of things. And then just to finish off the pattern, I'll just put the pull portion right here, and then make it all one color in case kind of prefer that. What we have here is a bull flag pattern. So that's really the easiest way to summarize this is big move up. It's taking a breath, not just a question of, okay, is this breath just a temporary breath before it continues on up? Let's see how it happens over the next couple of days. Next one here, ticker symbol SRGA, and I like this pattern because it has pulled back a bit, and as I've discussed in past top 10 videos, but it's a very critical discussion you should always be having with yourself is, you don't have to worry about, am I chasing the price? Am I suffering from FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. No, absolutely not. How do you know that? Well, because the price is now the people that bought right there, yeah, they suffered from FOMO. They're probably pretty nervous right now. But as of now, if you're not in, then yeah, the price is pulled back, which means that, not that you're going to necessarily make money, but it does mean that, okay, it's not like you're chasing the price. You've let the price pull back. You've let things consolidate out, and not just the question of, can the price, turn itself back around and make another move to the upside, which is where, in my mind, this key area of support right here at $1.07 resides. Because, in my mind, if the price comes down to $1.07, can behave like that, then from a pattern perspective, you'd still have, and I'm doing this very crudely, but you'd still have a nice bull pennant pattern down here as long as the price can stay above that $1.07 mark. But like I said, maybe you don't agree. I'm like, no, I don't think it needs to pull down to $1.07. I want to get in right now because it's already pulled back. Hey, no problem. That's your personal risk tolerance. That's your opinion, and that's fine. But like I said, the common ground that we can all agree on is, hey, at least nobody's chasing. At least nobody's buying the top because it has pulled back. And then, of course, if the price does turn itself around, then that main overall area of resistance is going to be where the party stopped today, up around $1.18. But overall, good pattern, nice movement, got the pullback. Now let's see if it wants to turn itself back around and continue on with a bigger uptrend. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA Tesla, and very, very impressive day. The good news here is this one was very polite because I did talk about this one being in a bear pennant, or excuse me, a bear flag pattern in yesterday's video. But today the price just gapped up and then spent the first 30 minutes going up. So why was that polite? Well, what would really have been bad had Tesla acted like it wanted to be bearish and then just said, hey, just kidding, and then went up. That would have been a very cruel joke to the pattern itself. But here, there was no cruel jokes. Like I said, it gapped up. And then it just continued beast moded that first 30 minutes. So people that were saying, it's looking like a bearish pattern, they never got fooled, right? They never got, hey, just kidding, because it just never even looked bearish at all during the opening part of the day. So at least Tesla, while it was seemingly bearish or potentially bearish headed in today, it definitely didn't act, tricky or anything like that. As far as key levels that now matter moving forward into Thursday, first key level of resistance going to be right here at the top part of this range, which sits right around the 695 mark. And then the big area of resistance, without doubt, is going to be that pink line there, the 200-period moving average, which also happens to now be valued at essentially a big old round number of $700. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on those as far as areas of resistance. In terms of support areas, there you go. The key level right now to keep an eye on in the near term going to be right down there around 684. And then after 684, then that level that I think a lot of shorts will be watching right down there around the 681 mark, because if the price breaks through there, then I think there could be a bigger pullback here. But all in all, very impressive recovery, which, really actually started late afternoon back there on Tuesday, but it continued on today. So let's see if it can continue up and, build upon this current bounce. So that wraps up the top 10. And again, just want to remind you and personally invite you to get signed up for this live class if you liked what you just saw, if you want to learn more about how to use technical analysis as a tool to build consistency. So the class will be Thursday, August 19th at 7 p.m. and then the key there being Eastern time. So that'll be the class. Sign up for it. And like I said, if you want to learn more about charts, how they should be used, how they should not be used, why they work, and how they are a great tool, then I'll talk about that and a whole lot more. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these videos, if you want me to keep making these videos, then please communicate to me that they're worth the time and effort, and you can do that very easily. Hit the like button, leave a basic comment, even if it's just saying hi, even if it's just a smiley face emoji. But hitting the like button, leaving a basic comment goes a long way in communicating to me that it's worth taking the time and effort to make these top 10 videos. And as long as I know that this is a popular structure that's helping people out, then I have no problem continuing to make these. But again, I need your feedback in that regard. And get signed up for the class. I'd love to see you on Thursday, and we can talk all about charts and a whole lot more. So get signed up, and hopefully everybody had a great day.